Welcome everyone. Today we are going to do lesson number 6. The name of the lesson is Company Form of Business Organization. Joint Stock Company, also called JSC. Joint Stock Company is when a company gathers the money flow from different organizations or different individuals and then put it on stock market. What are the characteristics of joint stock market? Let me explain you. First, artificial person. What does it mean? So for example, I'm a human being, I have hand, but artificial person is the technological person or man-made technological machinery which works as an artificial person where the machine does all the work. Second is formation. Formation is forming or establishing and organizing different kind of work. Third is separate legal entity. When an institution or an organization has its own legal entity, so no one can complain against them because they are separate. Then comes common seal. So for example, as you see, there is stamp, different kind of stamps that are used, ink stamps. On the same time, there is common seal, sealing a company or a brand with a name. Then comes perpetual existence. Perpetual existence is that the work goes long, and if in an emergency situation the person dies, the owner or the founder dies, the work still continues. Then comes limited liability of member. What does it mean? So when there is any legal problem, the person who's taking legal responsibility of the actions or the happening is known as limited legal liability member. Then comes transferability of shares. Transferring your shares to the other person or another company at a cost. Membership. When I join a company and I want to become a member of this company or a business, I first join the membership. Democratic management. Democratic management is the freedom to manage the work or letting someone manage it for growth and for betterment. If there is no unity, there is no management, there will be a lot of fights. To avoid them, management is important. What are the different types? The first type is private company. Which means a private company can open in a private company. There are these important points that are followed. The first is maximum 50 members can be there in the private company. Not more than 50 members. Then there is that the private company cannot have the public shares. There are always restrictions on selling the shares. The minimum capital is rupees 1 lakh that has to be there in the company. Then comes public companies. Public limited company that are for the people. Let's find out the important points here. In public company, you can invite the public. Anyone can join and be a part of the company. Minimum 7 members should be there, not less than it. And maximum, there is no limit. There can be any number of the members. There is never a limit. Anyone can join, but minimum has to be 7. Then there is no restrictions on transfer. You can transfer your asset, your shares, and there are no restrictions on it. The minimum capital that should be there in the public limited company is 5 lakhs. Then comes other companies. The first is government companies. As you see in the picture in the given slide. Then second is statutory company. The example is LIC. Then is chartered companies. Chartered companies are companies that are managed by the Queen of UK. Then comes foreign company. Foreign companies are always allowed to establish their company here. If they want an establishment or they want to open here, they can always open their company here in India. Fifth is domestic company, which means companies that are established and manufactured and made in India. Multinational companies, MNCs. Multinational companies are the companies that are all over India at different states with a lot of branches. And sometimes outside the country also. The seventh is holding and subsidiary company. So there are two ways. The first is holding company, company A. So company A is the head, and on second, company B, that is under that company A, is known as subsidiary company of company A. So dear learners, now we will learn the difference that is there in private company and the public company on basis of these different points. The first point is minimum members. In private company, minimum members are 2 members. In public company, minimum 7 members. Maximum members in private company, 50 members, not above 50. And in public company, there is no limit. Anyone can join the company. There is no limit. Minimum capital. In private company, minimum capital should be 1 lakh. And in public company, the minimum capital should be 5 lakh. So dear learners, now we will know the difference on the basis of identification. Private limited has a suffix called private limited, and on public companies only limited is the suffix. Then transfer of shares. In private companies, you cannot transfer. In public companies, you can transfer freely. There is no restriction. Then, on invitation to public, In private sector, no open invitation. In public companies, there is an open invitation to everyone and anyone. Then, commencement of business. In private sector, immediately the company can start after the setup. In public sector, first the certificate is required to start. Without the certificate, the business cannot start. Advantages. Let's learn the advantages. First is large number of resources. There are so many resources. Then is limited liability. There is always limited liability of people who take legal responsibility. Then continuing of existence. In the continuing of existence, it should not be stopped at any time. Even if somebody is sick or somebody dies, who's the member of the company cannot stop. It has to continue its existence. Then is benefits of large scale operations. There are a lot of benefits. Then comes liquidity. There is always liquidity of the flow. Then comes professional management. There is always a professional management that manages the work. Then comes research and development. Research and development is a very important task for the better growth. Tax benefits. The benefits of the tax are always there. So, dear learners, let's see what are the disadvantages. First is difficult to form. It is very difficult to form. The process is very long with a lot of regulations. Then is control by a group. which is very important to control by a group of members. Then is excessive government control. A lot of government control is there. Then there is delay in decision making. Even if the plan is ready, the decision making takes a lot of delay. It's a slow process. Then there is lack of secrecy. Just like you have a best friend, for example, and you're close to your best friend and you share your secrets with them, and she hides it for you, but here there is a lack of secrecy. Things come out. There is a lot of social abuse, exploitation, assault, discrimination, and a lot of other things are there. Troubles. Dear friends, let's find out the suitability. In large business size, when there is a large business, the size has to be bigger. A bigger land, a bigger place. Then is high resource need. The resources should be high and more that match and suit. Then is it should involve high risk. Needs professional management. Professional management is needed a lot. Choosing the right form of organization. What is the right way? First is ease of formation. The formation should be easy. Then is availability of large resources. Maximum resources should be there which are available. Liability or risk. If anything happens, the legal responsibility should be taken. Of any kind of risk in the company. a lot of stability should be there in the working style. Flexibility, which is very important. That a person is ready to adjust and work hard. Secrecy should be there, that nobody talks about the secrets of the company or the organization. Then is extent of state control. Let's see the difference between partnerships and joint stock company on different bases. The first is formation. In partnership, it is easy to form. In joint stock company, there are a lot of formalities. Operations. On the basis of operations, partnerships is Indian partnerships. In joint stock company is Companies Act 1956. And on the basis of legal status, in partnerships there is no separate legal entity. In joint stock company, there is always separate legal entity from members. Liability. In the partnership, it is unlimited, and in the joint stock company, it is limited. Then on the basis of management, in partnership, it is all or one partner. In joint stock company, it is board of directors. Then on the basis of transfer, in partnership, it is consent of all. Without consent, it doesn't work. And on joint stock market, it is free to transfer. Then on the basis of existence, in partnership, it dissolves. And in joint stock company, it's perpetual. Then on the basis of finance, in partnership, it is limited. And in joint stock company, it is vast. Multinational corporation called MNCs are all over the world. what are the features of multinational companies? First is centralized control. For example, even if there are so many branches, but it is always controlled, centralized by the headquarter. Second is worldwide business. Third is better quality. Fourth is it has large size. Fifth is international access. There is always international access to the MNCs. The sixth is special advertisement. Different kind of special advertisements are always there. What are the advantages of MNCs? First is investment of foreign capital. The second is generation of employment. Then comes use of advanced technology. Then comes growth of ancillary units. Then increase in exports and inflow of foreign exchange is there. Then comes healthy competition, which makes gain lot of profit. Let's find out the disadvantages. The first is least concern for priorities of host countries. Second is adverse effect on domestic enterprises. Third is change in culture. Like we have Indian culture, but a foreign country that comes here has its own culture, which makes a lot of change in the culture. Joint ventures. What are the features of joint ventures? First is access to advanced technology. Second is optimum use of capital. Third is pooling of resources. Fourth is innovation. Fifth is sharing of risk and reward. Public-private partnerships. The features of public-private partnerships is benefit of public, Second is government is involved. Third is high priority projects. Fourth is funds experience of both sector combined. Fifth is risk is shared by both of them, the public and the private sector both equally. What are the merits? Better infrastructure solutions. Second is faster the project complications and reduce delays on infrastructure projects. The third is ROI might be greater than projects with traditional all private and all government fulfillment. Then risks are fully appraised early on the determined project feasibility. Then what are the limitations? Can increase government costs. Then the limit competitiveness required for cost-effective partnering. Then profit of the project can vary depending on the assumed risk, the level of competition, and the score of the project. If the experience in the partnership lies heavily on the private side. Thank you.